morning. Welcome to the Weekly Hiya Podcast. I'm here to take your roll call. So if you're here, let me know. Okay, first one, positive self-image. Is she here?
She's here and she's looking good.
All right. Very good. Very good. How about negative thought patterns?
I saw her in the hallway, but she didn't think she could pass the class, so she left.
I love it. Okay, very good. Probably better anyway. Okay, let's see. Showing yourself some grace.
She's here.
Anybody?
She was a little late, but it happens to everyone.
It does. It does. That's right. We're so glad she's here. Okay. How about, let's see here. Obsessing over past mistakes.
She left a long time ago. She says she ain't coming back.
So glad to hear it. Don't tell her, but I'm happy that she's not coming back. Okay, here. How about confidence? Confidence?
Yeah, she's here to stay for sure.
Okay, love that. Love that. Okay, last one on my list is, let's see here. Hoes before foes?
Oh, yeah. She's right there. She said she's got our back.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, let's get started on our weekly meeting.
Hiya.
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 How we feeling?
Really good.
Yeah,
Good,
really
good.
We want to say hi to all our listeners. And don't forget to subscribe and comment on our things. We love to hear from you guys, and it just gives us energy and to do more. So thank you for listening, and keep on listening.
Keep on keeping on.
Yep.
And
That's
also I do want to say thanks because we did get a lot of comments regarding the hats that we were wearing the last podcast. And we had a few people saying that they loved it and that they were hoping that we were going to pick them from the raffle so that we could give the hat away. Yeah. So thank you guys for commenting.
So
Yeah, we can't wait to send it to you. We'll announce the winner soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good.
Lucky winner.
All right. Well, let's get on to our I am statements. I'll go ahead and start this off.
Do it, Jan.
My I am statement is I am powered by positivity and energy.
Love it. Are you?
Yeah, I am actually. I have a lot of energy. I feel good.
Good. Mine is I am capable of much more than I can even imagine.
Oh,
that's good.
Nice. That's a great one. I love that.
I like that because it encourages you to always be imagining and creating in your mind.
Yeah.
And dreaming. Yeah, I love that.
And look, confidence.
Mine is, especially after the week that we've had together, I am truly grateful for you two. I just feel so blessed today. I mean, I was excited to get online.
Ditto. Right back at you, girl.
Ditto. Same.
Yeah. Same. Igualmente.
Igualmente. Sí.
See, That's to my mom. She never understands people with accents. So whenever they're speaking, she's like,
Yeah.
She'll look at me like, what is it? She agrees to everything. It's so funny.
My mom used to pick up people's accents.
Oh.
Yeah, she was from England, and then and she got here when she was she came over when she was 18 or 19 with somebody from the service, her husband, and he was from Texas, so she ended up from England with an English accent, then Texas from a really small town in Texas, which was a pretty strong accent.
Wow.
And then she came out to California when she was 26 or something. So when she got out to California, people would say, what kind of accent is that? So she was so insecure about it that whatever, she sort of learned to start mimicking whatever anybody was saying in their accent.
Wow.
And people would laugh at her like they couldn't tell where she was from. Are you a New Yorker?
That's
and they
so
think
funny.
she was part of them. And she's like, no. And then,
You'll
somebody
never
else.
guess.
Yeah.
I think when you live around people though that have an accent, I'm sure you sort of take it on. I mean, I'm listening to my GPS girl. She's from Ireland, and I feel like I now, instead of saying parking lot, I say car park. So
So there's a perfect example.
There's
and
proof.
She'll say straight on, and then turn left, and then go straight on. And I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go straight on.
Now you're sitting with Josh in the car and you're like, straight on, honey. It's over there to the left in the car park.
Yeah. It's just funny. I just love her voice though, because I didn't know you could change their accents. You could have any accent there is. You can have a man, a woman. And I was like, oh my God, that's quite beautiful. I wish I could have that accent.
Yeah.
Scottish,
keep
Irish.
listening to it long enough.
I know.
You might very well.
Quite worn off.
But
every once in a while,
she'll only be able to talk about the map.
Yeah.
It's kind of limited vocabulary.
It is limited. But I'll practice. Kind of like my Spanish. I'll practice. So
yeah.
See. Yeah. See.
All right. Well, let's talk about our topic today. And I wanted to just tell you guys a funny story. It's not a funny story, but it just got me thinking. And so I wanted to get you guys' take on it. So I was thinking about, as we get older, how the comparison game changes. So, when I was younger, I was really focused on my looks. Like, how did I look compared to the other girls in my high school? Or when we were in college and we would go to the clubs, Jana, how did we look when we were waiting outside, in our outfit compared to the other girls in outfit? Yeah. I mean, we were high, top 5 for sure. But
for sure.
But as you get older, does that decrease or does it increase? Or obviously it probably changes. And so I asked my husband, I was like, hey, what, like from a man's perspective, what do you compare yourself to? And he was like, he really took him aback. He was like, well, nothing. And I said, what? And he said, I don't do that. He said, women do that a lot, but I don't do that. And I said, wait. So like if there's a person that's skinnier than you, a guy that's skinnier than you, do you compare? No, I just noticed that he's thinner. And what about tennis player? No, he probably put in more work than I did. No, I don't, and I'm like, God, this is so foreign to me. Like, I said, what, nothing. Like what if someone's a better dad? No. And so I was thinking, that was weird, to me. Like, I can't fathom not doing that. But I also think there's a lot of avenues we could go here. But the other thing is, with social media now, there's the whole world to compare ourselves to. It's not just in our visual field. When we were growing up, that's what it was. It was who was at your high school or who was at your college, then it got a little bit bigger. But it was never, like for me, business wise, I'm jealous about somebody's business in New Jersey. Well, I would have never known that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it can do a number on you, because especially for our younger people, that they think everybody else's life is perfect. And we know that's not true. But anyway, so I was just wondering, like, do you guys, has your comparison game changed, or has it stayed the same, or is it better? Or I want to hear what you guys have to say.
I will go.
What do you think?
I feel, so I feel like when I was younger, that it was, well, actually, it's probably always been, but physical, maybe, like what does her hair look like? What is she wearing? What does she drive? Or what, and it was always kind of like where I stood, probably more physically, or it could be money wise or whatever, like what I'm driving, just because that's kind of that culture of like what you have when you're young and in high school and things like that. And I do find myself as I'm older kind of doing that, but I feel like it's in a different way of looking at it, in terms of I admire that person a little bit more. It's not like I think, oh, that bitch thinks she's all that, oh, look at her strutting around. I think, oh my God, she looks amazing, or if they work out like a crazy person, it's like, oh yeah, that body's pretty nice. I wish I had it, but I'm not willing to work that hard. It's that kind of thing.
Right.
So it is more of a an admiration of like, that's awesome that they look that way. I do have moments of like thinking, oh, you probably should, up your game a little bit or look a little better. I think about it often with like even just getting my nails done is, God, it's hard. It's so hard and getting like pedicures. I just hate sitting in a chair for that long. It's very uncomfortable for me, but I like the end result. So I really love getting my nails and my feet, and I like how it looks at the end, but I'm like, oh, I just don't want to take the time to go. But I always say to myself, like, you should probably be a little bit more maintenance, like, let's do a little more work. So I hate like if I have to dye the gray or, whatever. So, anyway, it's just hard for me to do, but it's funny you say that because I've talked to Josh about that very thing. And because I was wanting to get his perspective on it. And I actually just think it's a terminology with men and women. Like, I asked him if he ever like compared himself to other men and what they have, or maybe, like a jealousy kind of thing. And he said the same thing as Tim, which I was surprised. I thought he would have said something different. And he was like, well, no, I just look at him, or I would like look at somebody and go, like, I think I want that, and then, and then he would like work to get that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was kind of motivating as opposed to
But it wasn't
judgy.
like a self,
like I'm not enough kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, not at
It's more
all.
like a motivation.
It was almost a motivation for him. So, which I was like, you never looked at another ever, and he's like, no, I don't. He goes, I look at him. I just don't look at it like I'm bad because of that person being, what I'm saying? So,
Tish, what about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, racking my brain. I'm sure when I was younger, I did it more often, for sure, right? I do remember always asking my mom. I think you're right. In a sense, it might be a terminology thing. Because when I'm thinking about comparing, I don't know that I was ever even really stuck on that. But I do remember always wanting to know what I looked like from somebody else's perspective. So I would say to my mom constantly, my entire life, up until maybe I was 40, I would say, every woman I saw that I thought might be my same weight and height, I would say to her, is that what my legs look like? Is that what I look like in jeans from behind? Is that what my hair looks like? Yeah. I mean, I bugged her my whole life. And it was never, I just wanted to always see, like, what do people see?
Right.
And I could never quite get a vision of myself, because I always had this idea that when people look at themselves, they don't actually see what others see.
Yeah.
And so, and she always tried to work through it with me. Like, she would say, sometimes we would be somewhere and I wouldn't have to ask her, because she would tap me and she'd go, see that girl right there? That is very similar to you. Oh. And then I was always so pleased, but it was my mom. Yeah. So I think she would do it to try and help me through that insecurity. But
let me ask you, was it when you said, is that what my legs look like? Was that a positive or was it a negative? Like, ooh, her butt doesn't really look that good in those jeans. Does my butt look like that? Or was it, she looks really good in those jeans. Does my butt look like that?
That's what I'm trying to rack my brain. Like, I don't remember that part of it.
It wasn't a positive or a negative. It was
no. It was always literally like trying to imagine myself from other people's eyes.
Interesting.
And I don't remember ever pointing somebody out that I didn't think didn't look like me, and it never felt negative, but it never felt positive. It just felt like,
that's good.
Like, I want to know, but I will tell you, when talking about this, when you said social media, that is the entire reason why I rarely get on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Because when I was in my 30s, after I got a divorce, Facebook started coming around, right? It was new. And I got on there in the beginning, and I never really posted, but I used to watch people. And once I was coming through my 30s, getting closer to 40, and I had decided that I wasn't going to have kids and that I didn't necessarily want to work towards marriage because I wasn't going to have kids, but it would be nice to have a partner, a life partner.
Right.
Once that changed in my mind and I was watching Facebook and all of my friends who are posting pictures of all of their kids and big social settings and their husband and their house. And it really bothered me. Yeah. And it wasn't comparing and it wasn't jealousy because it was friends. Like I would see you, Jana, on there, it was, and my family in England, it was, I'm happy to see them happy. And it was never about them. It was always about me. Like, am I behind?
Right.
Did I make a mistake somehow? Is this what I'm supposed to be showing? Right. Like, is this what life is? And my alternative life that I've picked is wrong because this all looks really good.
Yeah.
And I don't have those posts and I don't know that anything that I post would even compare. Right. And so I've learned to really limit myself with that because it definitely shifted my mood instantly.
Yeah.
And that was negative.
Yeah.
But not against them. Right. It was questioning my choices,
Sure. Yeah.
So I definitely limit that now. Right. I don't get on there very often.
And I think, for me, it was I talked to a couple friends today about it and I was like, okay, I'm going to give you 4 categories and you tell me which one was the hardest for you. So physical, maternal, like being a mother, career wise, and like relationships. Like which are the hardest for you? Mine is mother. Like I think everybody else is a better mother than me, and career. But only career because of social media. Because I know what people are doing all over the world.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And it always seems like they're doing better than you.
Yeah, it's so true.
Everybody's doing better.
No matter what it is.
Yeah,
yeah.
We write this crazy scenario shit in our head that everybody's doing. But someone's probably looking at me saying, "Oh, she's doing awesome, and she's doing better than me."
I do. I look at you and think you're a badass, to be honest. So, like career-wise, like you're my hero. I have no drive to do what you do at all. Like,
you're a smart girl.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just happy, like seeing my babies and, like I don't want any responsibility. I really I think you're a badass, like, cause you do work very hard and, you're really good at networking and all of that. I think that's a really hard job managing people. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so career's never on my comparison list. I would say probably I get the mother thing because everybody only puts the accomplishments of their children. Nobody puts the bad stuff, and so
right.
But I'm with you. I feel like if if you don't feel good, it's like it is not a place to go. Because you're always going to find that thing that looks better than what you have for sure. So
yeah.
It is important though, I think, to realize that. No matter what you believe as far as spirituality or religion, I do think it's important to find a place in yourself where you say, I really have to build my own life. Mm-hmm. I think if the faster you learn to listen to yourself, to listen to your intuition, to be guided by, whatever that is greater than yourself, it's so important because and this is how I've walked myself through when I'm upset, when I get upset thinking people have a whole life and I'm so different, my lifestyle is so different. The only way I get myself through it is to think, if I go back and I say, well, and my mom kind of taught me this, she would say, well, who would you have married? Like, where do you think you made the mistake of not wanting to commit? And I'm like, well, no, it would have been some dream man that is a fantasy, right?
It's this guy.
And then she says, like that Seinfeld episode, me, but as a man.
Yeah. Perfect, but in a man, like me and a man.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to marry myself.
But you really do have to realize, it is such a custom journey. it's such a custom life, and you're continuously, like, I'm continuously thinking I am free to edit at any time. It's my choice. And even though I see those things, and when I chose to not have kids at a certain age, thinking at this point I'm an older person and I personally choose. I'm not saying anybody else, just me. At this point in my life, I don't want to have kids.
Right.
And once I made that choice, I was very, very satisfied with it. And I've never second guessed it. Like I've always felt this is my journey, this life, you know? And again, it goes back to my personal philosophy about eternity and who we are in the universe. So I'm really good with it because I'm like, this is my choice this time. And so I have to remember when I see other things, go, well, the other choices, would you like to adopt? Because you can. Would you like to go back? Would you have gone back and had any kids? You know, and I'm like, well, no, I wouldn't. Well, then stop fantasizing that's something there you missed, because who I am in this body with this brain and this spirit, it's not for me. But it's just weird how you get off track sometimes, forgetting that you're the one creating your life, and embrace it and just keep editing until you feel amazing, you know, about it. But it's a journey.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's so interesting because, Tish, again, I think you're a badass as well in a whole different perspective. I've told everybody I've ever met, like, all about my friend who's traveled everywhere, and she, you know,
Lived
gave up
a full
everything in
life.
her life. You're like, and like changed her life completely. It's really difficult for people to just pivot a little bit, but you did a whole pivot. You know what I'm saying? You said, I'm done doing this corporate business. I'm moving on. I'm going to go find my dream. And you didn't know what that dream was, but you found it through a beautiful journey, if you ask me. And coming from a person who had children very young, didn't travel, all of that. Oh my God. Every time you told me you were going on a new adventure, I'd be like, oh my God, that's so amazing. I wish I could do that. Like, so what's so interesting, I feel like you're always like, you're kind of like thinking, what did I miss on the other side? Because you've never experienced it. Or, and I feel like when I daydream about stuff, I'm like, well, I never really traveled when I was young, and I never went alone on a travel, and God, no, I would never. I mean, I would never do it ever. It's not in my DNA at all. I'd be so scared and nervous the whole time. I'd probably just sit in the hostel, like debating where I'm going to go eat
You'd
for
be
lunch.
sitting in the
I'm
Marriott.
so hungry.
Don't lie.
I know, true. I know, it just sounded better.
Hostel schmostel.
Anyway, I know. It'd be a private room in the hostel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. I just listen. It's just funny because, you know, I think that's what it is. It's kind of like knowing what other people are doing, and you're like, oh, I wish I would have done that. But it's hard. You can't possibly do all of those things, you know?
No.
And so we're all like living a different life, and I don't know. And maybe you have different phases. I feel like I'm in a phase of my life now where I can travel. Right. So I never really left the country. I went to Mexico is the furthest I went. So like Spain was huge for me. So, you know, and I would love to do further travel. So now I can. My children are gone. So
yes.
Yeah.
Kind of,
bring it on.
So
bring it on.
Anyway.
And that is the beauty of having a close group around you, whether it's males, female, you know, like married couples with other married couples. You can sort of share each other's experiences,
right?
You know, if you will. Like my friends all have kids, so I feel very like, even with Matt and Andrew, you know, I want to know about them, and I'm not that close because they're far away. But anybody that's here with me, I can share in that, you know, and I notice that they'll call on me to have certain conversations when it's about like travel or, you know, university garbage, or, you know, when it's certain topics, they'll be like, hey, can you come over? We're going to talk about this tonight. So I think it is important though, for us to just constantly say, whatever our journey is, it's worthy, it's valid. And we make a difference in the world, and just keep your community around you close
Yeah.
and reach out to them when you're not feeling good, when you start comparing, because it does make a difference on the day. Because I do not wake up every day going, I love this life. I don't have kids. I'm free. It just doesn't work that way. But I don't get too caught up in it. I just know I got to reach out. I got to reach out to somebody and have a coffee or take a walk with somebody, or, reach out and get a little social so I don't get too down on myself.
Yeah, get too much in your head.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the nugget right there, Tish, what you said. Like, we're all on our own journey, right? And you just got to remember that. And remember, everybody is trying to do their best.
You're exactly right, though. It's so true.
Yeah.
Well, very good. I think that's a great thing for me to keep in mind, for sure.
For all of us, and maybe our younger listeners too. Like, it is normal, but don't get sucked up in it.
Yeah.
Don't get sucked up in it.
Well, let us know as as you're watching this podcast, just kind of try and reach out to us and let us know, because we really do want to see your feedback. We want to see the comments, and we are going to continue giving away hats, right? Yeah. Have we decided, like, as we see the comments coming in, every episode for a while is we have some hats, so we're willing to just keep giving them out. So every episode we're going to take the comments and draw a name and send you out a hat if you want it. So let us know what you feel about all this topic.
You can wear it on the Haya Trail when we go on our hike. We're all going to wear our Haya hats. So you might as well get the first edition, because we're going next year, bitches. Okay?
We sure are.
Yeah.
We are.
I can do the Haya Trail. All right. Let's get talking with you guys.
Good. Okay. Love you guys.
Have a great week.
Sending you all out there positive vibes. We send you all the best. And we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
Have a great week.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.